Hello everyone, and welcome to Lancelot's Nerd Corner, where I'm proud to present another 6th scale figure review. Today, we'll be taking a look at The Joker by InArt, and I'm really glad to be giving you my honest and detailed account of the figure. Now, you might have already seen reviews for the rooted hair version of this figure, so let's just go straight to what you're here for, the sculpted hair. It's quite excellent overall, and looks great from a distance. However, it's not without its flaws. The sculpt work near the scalp is remarkably detailed, as you can clearly see the individual strands of hair. And the way the layers of hair are sculpted over each other look natural and realistic. However, when looking closely at how they bunch up together, it can look a bit unrealistic, since each of the clumps of strands are almost the exact same size, resulting in somewhat of that infamous noodle hair look. It also doesn't help that the clumps of strands are quite large, whereas Heath Ledger's hair was more on the thinner side, so it would have made more sense to sculpt smaller clumps. Another thing to note is that the stiffness of the hair makes it difficult to tilt the head upwards, as it collides with the collar. The paint application is good, and even displays subtle hints of brown closer to the roots, demonstrating great attention to detail, since Heath Ledger's naturally light brown hair was just dyed green for the film. Although the overall shade of green on this hair sculpt seems a bit too dark when compared to the on-screen appearance, and even to the rooted hair version. Despite these minor flaws though, the hair sculpt is still commendable, and manages to be a suitable alternative to the more ultra-realistic but pricey rooted hair version. One thing that the sculpted hair does an excellent job of is concealing the joystick used to control the movable eyes. You might notice a tiny gap in the hair at the back of the head, which is a small panel that, with a gentle pull, reveals the hidden joystick. The single joystick controls the parallel movement of both eyes, and can very easily be moved with just your finger. The eyes themselves have a glossy finish that adds depth and brings them to life, and combining that with the ability to move them provides a broader range of poses with just the head sculpt alone. Speaking of which, the likeness and quality of this head sculpt redefines the level of realism achievable in 6th scale. The likeness is absolutely spot on, capturing the look of both the character and Heath Ledger underneath all the Joker makeup. The sculpt work overall is magnificent, but in particular, the scars on the cheeks are so unbelievably well sculpted, it makes my skin crawl looking at their grotesque appearance. On the left cheek, you can see deep cut lines, and on the right, how the skin tissue healed terribly, showcasing once again InArt's incredible attention to detail. This aspect is undoubtedly the most iconic of this particular Joker look, and it has been executed flawlessly. The paint application, I would say, is the most impressive part of the head sculpt. Despite the heavy makeup, you can still clearly see the texture of the skin. There are also some gaps in the makeup, particularly on the forehead, where the skin would naturally crease from the expressions he would make, all of which are screen accurate, by the way. And the subtle smudges on the black makeup around the eyes and the red scarred smile top off this iconic Joker look. Lastly, the head sculpt is magnetically attached to the neck peg, which is placed at a slight angle, causing it to naturally hunch forward, just as the character did. And while no head sculpt will ever truly be quote-unquote perfect, does this one from InArt come close?
Yeah.
Now, moving on to the figure itself, the body feels noticeably heavier than an average Hot Toys body, and is very robust. The torso in particular carries a significant weight, but the legs feel sturdy enough to balance the figure perfectly. The joints also feel very strong and stiff and offer a wide range of points of articulation, but the figure's outfit might restrict the number of poses you can actually strike. The entire outfit is tailored unbelievably well, boasting screen-accurate layers, patterns, and color tones. It's evident that the suit It wasn't cheap.
You ought to know, you bought it.
The first layer consists of a blue dress shirt with an intricate hexagonal pattern. The fabric used is incredibly thin, hugging the body tightly without creating any unnecessary fabric bloat. Around the collar is a tie with a very detailed and screen-accurate pattern printed on it, which may require a bit of adjusting to get it aligned properly. The waistcoat is bright green in front and dark blue at the back, with a functional adjuster belt. The fabric is also cut remarkably thin and tailored tightly to the body, replicating the appearance and fit of a real waistcoat. And I cannot underscore enough how much effort and skill this must have taken. The attention to detail is simply fantastic, with accurate lapels, pockets, and stitching on the edges. It's worth mentioning as well that the figure is screen accurately missing a button, adding yet another layer of authenticity. It's also appropriately weathered with smudges of dirt and grime, especially visible on the pockets. The trousers also exhibit amazing accuracy in both design and execution. They are a dark navy pinstripe with a wide pant style, just as they were in the film. They also feature the additional detail of the gold trouser chain, which is made of metal. And since the waistcoat is quite short, the trousers accurately ride up quite high on the waist, then fall to just above the shoes. The shoes are grey brogues with sculpted details on the toe cap, laces, and heel. The sculpted creases also add a touch of realism, and there's a fair amount of weathering, especially on the toe. And we can't ignore the colorful socks peeking through underneath the shoes and trousers, adding a subtle and screen-accurate detail. Coming back to the torso, over the waistcoat is a dark gray suit jacket, which is, once again, tailored tremendously well, so as to not create any fabric bloat. And while it does achieve more screen accuracy, it probably won't be a preferred look for most collectors, especially because it sits right underneath the figure's pièce de résistance, the purple overcoat. This overcoat is nothing short of glorious, with exceptional material, fit, and attention to details that truly bring it to life. It's made out of a soft suede-like fabric that provides a great tactile experience when handling the figure as well as a screen-accurate look. It's also cut thicker than the other fabrics underneath it, which gives it a weight that helps the entire outfit sit snugly on the body. And if the sides of the coat start to flare out, it can be easily matted down to sit flat again. However, due to its thickness and the fabric, it is more susceptible to unsightly creasing over time. The back of the coat has a pleated detached design with wires on the bottom lining of the entire coat for posability, but since they're only on the bottom, you won't get too many dynamic poses out of it. It does, however, reveal the shimmery orange lining on the inside, which is smooth and soft to the touch. And on the left-hand side is the makeshift harness for storing grenades. There's also visible weathering of grime and stains throughout the coat that further adds character and realism. Lastly, the subtle details are absolutely on point, from the peaked lapels, to the pockets and buttons, and to the unbuttoned cuffs, which fall past the hands. Speaking of which, the figure comes with a total of 8 hands, including 1 closed fist, 1 gun holding, 1 knife holding, 1 string pulling, 1 coat holding, and 3 card/money holding gestures. They are all sculpted to look like the purple gloves the Joker was wearing in the movie, and they all have different creases and wrinkles according to each gesture. They also have accurate details such as the stitching on the back of the glove and the buckled strap near the wrist. However, the hands are quite stiff, making it a bit challenging to fit accessories like the knife or pistol. And yes, they are all magnetic, which is a welcome innovation, but do be sure to still push them in, since they are still connected to a wrist peg. In addition to the gloved hands, the figure also comes with 5 bare hands with seamless forearms, including a pair of clapping, open palm, and an individual pointing gesture. The sculpted veinwork and wrinkles on the palms and fingers are tremendous. The skin texturing further enhances the realism, and the makeup on his hands showcases great attention to detail. They are also magnetic, but they attach further up the arm, close to the elbow. Now that we've covered the entire figure, let's take a look at all the accessories the figure comes with. The figure comes with the 8 hands and 5 seamless forearms we already covered, as well as a display base, submachine gun, pistol, set of hand grenades, switchblade, set of dollar bills, and set of playing cards. The display base is a circular plastic base that features the movie and character name debossed in front and the iconic Dark Knight logo behind. Since the base is circular though, you get to decide which is the front or the back. The surface of the base is meant to resemble gray tile flooring, and the excellent paint app and weathering adds a ton of realism. You might also notice a distinct lack of a crotch grabber, and that's because it's magnetic. However, there are only 2 specific areas on the base that are magnetized, which you can easily find since the figure's shoes will snap straight to those areas. They are very strong, and while you may not be able to strike many poses other than him standing up straight, I don't think that'll be much of an issue for most collectors. The submachine gun is designed to be a Smith & Wesson M76, just like in the film, and features accurate sculpted details. It is made entirely of die-cast, which does give it quite a bit of weight, although there isn't much weathering on it. There is some articulation with the stock that can extend and collapse, as well as the magazine that can be pulled out. The Glock pistol has a similar story, as it's also made of die-cast and has awesome details. It's painted black with a silver slide, which can be pulled back and also lacks any weathering. And just like the submachine gun, the magazine can be removed, showing bullet decals. The set of hand grenades includes 5 different grenades of different makes and models. They are all made of die-cast, which again gives them some weight, and are tied to purple strings attached to a silver ring. They can be placed inside the coat and are specifically meant to recreate the iconic scene where the Joker meet with the mob bosses. The switchblade is a small accessory that has a suitable amount of detail for its size. The silver blade can be pulled out, and while it is just made of plastic, it still offers great display options for the figure. The set of bills are several small bundles of $100 bills, made out of real paper and printed with accurate designs. They can be used as in-hand accessories or can be used as props to enhance the display base. Lastly, the set of cards are made out of thin cardboard and have different designs on each card. This level of commitment to detail is truly commendable, and similar to the bills, can be used in hand or as display props. There were very high expectations for both InArt and this figure, and I think it lived up to be a brilliant first entry into 6th scale. The outfit is designed and tailored meticulously, the body is sturdy and can articulate well, the accessories were made with effort and detail, the overall screen accuracy is sublime, and while the sculpted hair could have been improved, the head sculpt is out of this world. I was genuinely amazed by how well this figure turned out, and if you're willing to give InArt a chance, I think you'll be too. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this review helpful, please feel free to like and subscribe. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.